Hi, this is the Cancer Journey Roundtable, and today we're talking about emotional intelligence, what it is, and why it's important.
Yay.
So we have Mary Coughlin, Carrie Lehman, and myself, Sherry Ann Tom. We're just going to have a conversation about this interesting topic of emotional intelligence.
Yes. So, one of the things about emotional intelligence is people feel like they think they should know what it is. So, we came up with our own definition. And there are three components to it. The first one is literacy, emotional literacy. And emotional literacy is just really knowing what emotions are, that you have them. We happen to have a map of 21 emotions that we share with our clients. Um, and so it's really just, okay, maybe I've read something about emotions, or I know there's a range of emotions. That's literacy.
Right. And I think that it's really important. It's kind of like when you're learning a new language, it's like, what are the basics? What do I need to know to kind of get by? And maybe I shouldn't say get by, but it's like, what are the basics that I need to know? And I think that's what literacy is. Like, what is the basics so I can start at the beginning?
So I can figure out where I'm going or where I am. Right? If you're in a foreign country, there's certain important questions, and I think with the literacy piece, one of the things that we found is that many people have a very narrow definition of what emotions are and operate within a more narrow definition. So it's really understanding the whole universe of the emotions, right?
Right, right.
Yes. I'm so glad you said that, Mary, because emotions, we think of them as feelings, and they are feelings, and it's thoughts and feelings together. So they kind of fuel each other.
Yeah.
But what we tend to do is we think about emotions rather than feel our emotions. So
Right. Yeah, because I love knowing that emotions are what makes us human. It's not something that, oh, we're given or is put upon us. It's part of what flows through us. It's like breathing.
Yeah.
We all have emotions.
yeah, whether we like it or not.
Well, and often I'll speak for myself. I grew up thinking that learning how to control my emotions was some kind of emotional intelligence rather than feeling them and experiencing those emotions and understanding the message they have for me about what they mean.
Right.
So that kind of brings us to the next component of what our definition is, which is agility. So meaning that not only do I know I have emotions and that they're important, they're part of what makes me human, but I have the ability to feel them and permission to feel them. That doesn't mean that we're going to go throw up all over everybody emotionally. It just means that I know how to respect and honor my emotions. So number one, I have them. Number two, I know it's important to access them and feel them, because what that gives me is more of my power.
Yeah, I go ahead, Mary.
Oh no, what resonated there for me was that ability to understand the literacy of what those feelings are, but then the agility to be able to understand what that makes me want to do or how I want to choose to experience that emotion. And that there's others available to me than just the one I might be stuck in at this moment.
Right. I want to go back to when we're young. I mean, if there's anyone who teaches us about emotions, it's like mad, sad, glad, frustrated. I mean, there's like these five. I remember there was a movie called it was a cartoon movie.
I know exactly
about emotions.
I can't think of the name of it.
Oh, the Pixar movie.
Yeah, Inside Out or something
Out.
like right. And they only had really five main emotions. Well, that's not true. And then when they really amplified it, it was story. There was a lot of story attached to it, where it's like when what we're talking about is being able to permission is what you said, Carrie, to feel these emotions and not in a throw up or I'm going to hurt you kind of way, but like let them flow as they want to, and being aware of that, because so often, and this is how I was raised, is don't feel your emotions, especially in corporate. No, no, no. We cannot feel our emotions. There's no place for emotions here.
But
Don't
don't
be
get
emotional.
emotional.
Yes.
Say
Have-
that again.
Don't get emotional.
Yes.
And emotional was anything that wasn't completely even
Right.
keel, pleasant. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and emotions, all they are is just a vibration.
Right.
So it's just about letting that vibration come through you. But we make so much, like you were saying, story, Sherry, and that we make so much up about what it means about us if we feel this certain thing, what kind of person we are, we're out of control. We have so much judgment about it.
Right. Even joy and happiness. I mean, if someone's so happy, it's like, oh, calm down. It's like,
Yeah.
wow. We can't even have permission to be really joyful for
Right.
any length amount of time, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Exactly.
almost like we're taught to do something about the emotion rather than just feel it,
Yes.
right? And just be
Yes.
with it.
Yes. And I am a big fan that if, this feels like an emotion that you feels like you're going to throw up on people, like go to another room and go have them, but don't stifle them. Go have them, and you don't have to hurt anyone in another room.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the fear, especially when it comes to like anger and rage and
Or even just sadness, just true sadness, just crying, or because these are all really just gifts to us.
yeah.
And so we're kind of speaking to both the how literacy and agility sort of work together. It's first owning that I have these, and then that they are separate from the story. They're just vibrations, and that's usually the toughest hurdle for people to get over,
Yeah.
because we're so used to thinking about them and talking about them and saying what they mean, rather than just letting them flow through us.
Right. And now we're to the third point, which is agility. I'm sorry, not agility, impact.
Mhm.
So if we know what they are and we're allowing ourselves permission to have them, the impact is really about responsibility. It's like, how do we want to be responsible for our emotions?
Right.
So what that means is that, oh, were you going to say something there? Okay. What that means is that emotions, we are always having impact, and we're having impact with our emotional vibration. So if we're if we're suppressing our emotions, that has a certain impact, and usually it's funky, it's not so great. But then the impact, this third element, is about knowing that our emotions have impact on us first, and then also they have impact on other people. So let's say, for example, you're in a relationship with someone and you feel angry at them. So how are you going to manage that? And what we recommend is that you process it first with yourself, and then you can get clear enough to make whatever the request is, that usually when you're mad at somebody, it's because a request needs to be made, a boundary has been crossed, right? So first processing it with yourself in a safe place, like Sherry Ann said, go to a different room. If you need to have big emotions, you need to have a cry, you need to scream, fabulous. Do it in a safe place. And then you can come back and have whatever conversation is needed, because your head will be clear and your whole vibe will be clear.
Well, and it puts you more in that place of having the impact you want to have, right? That's the intelligence piece. When these three things come together, is then I can choose how I want to have that impact. I can go to that other room and cry. If I don't, I am going to throw up.
Right.
So That's thinking it through and owning that this is real. It is who I am. How do I want to have that impact? And what does that start to look like?
Wow. And what you're speaking to, Mary, is truly power,
Yes.
feeling powerful with my emotions rather than having it overtake me
Mhm.
and being reactionary to them. It's like I'm working in concert with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why we say it has to be in layers. So again, the 3 layers are first agility.
Literacy.
No. What's the first one?
Literacy. Well, we just want to make sure
Sorry,
we
literacy.
understand it, that we have, yes, that we know what we're actually feeling and talking about. And then the agility.
And then the second one is agility. So how do I feel them, or being able to, what does it mean to access this in my body and let it come out?
Yeah.
And then the third one is thinking about, is kind of the whole system coming together of, I have these emotions, how do I want to be responsible for them? How do I, and when you're responsible for them, you're being respectful of them. So you're having self-respect and respect for your loved ones or for whoever's around you, your community.
Right. And we're calling that impact because we all, as you said, are having impact all the time, but we want to have impact. That's what we're about as human beings, is we want to have impact in the world. And hopefully it's always the good impact, because we're being responsible.
So part of emotional, what?
Really honest impact, right?
Yes, honest impact. That's better. Honest impact.
So part of the whole of EQ, or emotional intelligence, if you will, is knowing and owning that you matter.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's a really good place for us to stop.
Yes, me too. Great, ladies. That was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.